just for fun. 1.7 away from the middle of the field, so if it's a 2-mile runway, that means we're about... rules of not doing math on final here. That means we're 0.7 away from the threshold. Cool. It's like the easiest math I could have done.
Yeah, I know. I blanked too, don't worry.
I think that it's one of my biggest purposes here on YouTube to show other pilots, and especially student pilots, that we're not all perfect. We don't all fly perfectly by the numbers every flight or follow every recommended practice to a T. We all have personality quirks and might even have fun while we're flying. I've made a number of mistakes over my flying career and will probably make many more. Any pilot who tells you they have not made any mistakes is either lying or their imperfect personality prevents them from seeing their mistakes. Either way, I wanted to share some of the most common mistakes that I've heard pilots and students make so you know that it's okay not to be perfect. As long as we try our best, and you don't have to think about it while you're trying to sleep at night. Although I'm still having a hard time with the last part. Number 1. If it hasn't happened to you yet, it will. Just the other day I had Unicom on standby, thinking that I had swapped it over already, and I transmitted on the tower frequency. If you're lucky like me, nobody heard you. Apologize real quick to the tower, and then get on with your day. No big deal, but it's also just as easy to do with en route controllers. Oops. Number 2. You're approaching an uncontrolled airfield with one runway at night. You orient your chart on your lap to match what you think you're about to see outside your window, and you announce your intentions to land on runway 14 all the way down until there's a big 3-2 illuminated by your landing light. It happens to the best of us, but hopefully you won't make the mistake twice, or especially somewhere with lots of traffic or with a control tower. Number 3. This is like 100 items in one, but some of them are more common than others. For instance, forgetting to set your directional gyro to match your whiskey compass, or setting your altimeter, something to do with carb heat, or what I hear most often, taking off with your mixture not at full rich, or getting up to 5,000 feet with a notch of flaps still in. In any case, not usually too dangerous as long as you're intimately familiar with your airplane's performance. This is why it's important to practice unusual procedures sometimes just to cover all your bases as a proficient pilot. Number 4. Usually this is one you won't notice until you're on the ground or before your next flight. You look at your fuel gauges and you might have tons of fuel, but it's all in one tank and it's not the one that you were flying on. At least in a Warrior, it's difficult to remember to change tanks every so often, especially at night when you might not have a great view of all the gauges. I set an alarm on my watch now. Number 5. Almost nothing makes you feel dumber than piling into the plane with your instructor and then realizing when you're all ready to go that you forgot to pull the chocks. This is something that used to plague me so bad I would put a sticky note on my glare shield before every flight when I loaded up my bags. I've only heard of people forgetting tie-down ropes. I'm still waiting to see it happen in real life. I'll probably laugh. Number 6. The only thing that can make you feel even stupider than forgetting your chocks is getting back into your flight school and realizing that you forgot to write down any of the hobs or tack times from before or after your flight. It's a pain for everybody, and you have to go back out to the plane. I think we can all collectively agree to call this the walk of shame. Lastly, I'll let you guys visualize this one with me. You're on one of your first solos, you're in the zone, ready to fire up and go. You yell clear prop, reach down for the key, which is still sitting on the counter inside the building. Often when you're the only one you know training to become a pilot, you can feel really alone, and sometimes you can even still feel that way even if you're an aircraft owner. I think that it's always helpful to hear from other people that identify with you, and thus I gave you this video. The more people that you talk to in aviation, the more stories you'll hear, and I guarantee these mistakes will seem so incredibly minuscule compared to some of the stuff you'll hear. Anyway, do your best, try hard to fly safe, but remember, no pilot is perfect, no matter how much some of us try. And it's even okay to have a little bit of fun while you're learning to fly. Until next time, squawk VFR and have fun.